Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba is set during Japan's Taisho period, a fascinating time of transformation. But how historically accurate is it? Were there really demon hunters? And how did people live back then? Let's dive into the real history behind the world of Demon Slayer. Japan's Taisho era was a unique blend of tradition and modernization, a time when samurai culture still had an influence. But Western fashion, technology, and ideas were rapidly changing society. Let's explore how the Taisho period shaped the world of Demon Slayer. 1. What was the Taisho period? The Taisho era lasted from 1912 to 1926, marking the reign of Emperor Taisho. It was a time of great change, where Japan was transitioning from the old feudal ways into a modern society. Key features of the Taisho period: Japan was rapidly industrializing, cities were growing, and new technology was emerging. Western influences became popular in fashion, music, and architecture. Social changes: more people moved from the countryside to cities, and new rights for women and workers were introduced. The samurai era had already ended, but its influence remained in military traditions and culture. 2. How accurate is Demon Slayer's world? Demon Slayer beautifully mixes history with fantasy, but how much of its world is based on real Taisho-era Japan? What's historically accurate? Architecture and streets, the traditional Japanese houses. Tea shops and steam trains reflect real Taisho-era cities. Fashion, the mix of kimonos and Western-style suits is spot on. Many young people in the Taisho era dress just like Tanjiro, weapons and fighting styles. While katanas were no longer used in battles, martial arts like kendo and aikido were still practiced. What's fictional? The Demon Slayer Corps. There was no real organization fighting supernatural creatures. But secretive warrior groups did exist in earlier centuries. Demon blood arts, of course. The supernatural elements like Muzan's demons are pure fantasy. Carrying a sword in public by the Taisho period, only military and law enforcement were allowed to carry weapons openly. 3. Were there real demon slayers in Japan? There were no demon hunting corps like in the anime, but Japan did have legendary warriors who fought against unseen threats, both real and mythical. Historical parallels: the Demon Slayer Corps' Oni hunters in folklore. Japanese myths often speak of warriors defeating Oni demons, much like Tanjiro's mission. Ninja and secret warrior clans in the past. Covert groups like the Iga and Koga Ninja fought using specialized techniques, similar to breathing styles in the anime. Shinsengumi samurai police. This samurai police force in the late 1800s could be seen as an inspiration for the Demon Slayer Corps. 4. Technology and daily life in Taisho Japan. While Demon Slayer's characters still live in traditional houses, Taisho-era Japan was embracing new technology and modern conveniences. Modern advances in the Taisho era, electricity and steam trains, and electric streetlights were becoming common. Newspapers and photography, more people had access to news, and cameras were becoming popular. Western-influenced cafes, jazz music, and Western food were gaining popularity in cities. 5. The culture of Taisho Japan, a time of change. The Taisho era is often seen as a bridge between Japan's traditional past and its modern future. It was a period of artistic and cultural experimentation. Key cultural shifts: literature and art. Taisho-era literature was influenced by Western ideas and psychological storytelling. Women's rights movement: more women were pursuing education and working outside the home. Cinema and theatre: the first Japanese films were being made, and kabuki theatre remained popular. So while Demon Slayer is a fantasy story, it captures the spirit of the Taisho era surprisingly. Well, what do you think? Do you like the mix of history and fantasy in the anime? Let us know in the comments if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content on Japanese history and anime culture.